In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Flat Earth has long been touted as the mother of all conspiracy theories, suppressed and ridiculed for centuries as being an ignorant, unscientific worldview. But the facts of the matter are far from what you've been told. It is a fact, not a theory, that bodies of water always seek and find their own level. From a pond, lake, or an ocean, the natural physics of water is to find and remain level. It is a fact that the majority of Earth is covered in such level water, thus making it an unscientific theory to postulate that Earth is actually a gigantic sphere with bendy oceans curving all the way around it. It is an unproven, unscientific theory with no observable, measurable, or repeatable evidence to claim that bodies of water can somehow bend, cling to the exterior of shapes, and show convexity upon their surface. It is a fact, not a theory, that we are able to observe objects at incredibly long distances, far beyond what would be possible if Earth were a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. For example, it is a fact that in Genoa, Italy, from just above sea level, it is possible to see the distant islands of Elba, Caprea, and Corsica 80 to 125 miles away. It is a necessary theory that the globe Earth must curve 8 inches per mile squared if it really be a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. But based on such a theory, these islands would all be completely hidden behind thousands of feet of curved Earth. It is a fact, not a theory, that the horizon always appears perfectly flat, 360 degrees around the observer, regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show a completely flat horizon as high as we can reach, over 20 miles or 120,000 feet up. It is an observable, testable, repeatable, scientific fact of reality that Polaris, the North Pole star, situated perfectly over the North Pole center of Earth, never moves a single inch. Night after night, year after year, century after century, with all the other fixed stars remaining fixed in their relative constellations, revolving perfect circles around Polaris. It is also an unobservable, unscientific theory to claim that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and the Milky Way shoots millions of miles per hour more off through infinite space, when we cannot see, hear, feel, or otherwise observe or prove any such motion. And we can see clearly for ourselves Polaris never moving, and all the other stars revolving around it. This is just a brief introduction to the many observable, testable, repeatable scientific facts of our level, motionless plain Earth that have been suppressed and ridiculed for centuries in favor of various unobservable, untestable, unscientific theories purporting we live on a tilting, wobbling, spinning, ball-shaped Earth. To learn much more about this most important and highly censored topic, please follow the links in the description box.
But this is a NASA technical manual. MIT, the Army Research Laboratory, flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Flat Earth with a flat Earth assumption. Non-rotating flat Earth. A flat, non-rotating Earth may be assumed. A flat and non-rotating, assuming a flat Earth. Flat, non-rotating Earth. A non-rotating Earth. Flat, non-rotating Earth. Validity of flat Earth based on a flat Earth assumption for a flat Earth and a flat atmosphere. Flat, non-rotating Earth. The flat Earth model. Propagation of electromagnetic fields over flat Earth. Ballistic vehicle motion. A closed-form solution is developed for the motion of a ballistic vehicle entering the atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. The assumption of these equations assume a flat Earth.
Taylor about the fucking flex. Taylor about the fucking flex.
darkness.
Huge circle.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's a new portal, guys.
That is so weird. What's happening?
What's happening?
Is the world ending? Let's make
Ah.
on the stone. Is the world ending? Let's make a circle.
Hurry!
I got that before it's over. What? It's a real second circle.
Wow.
That is so weird. Oh my god.
Today is 11th of July 2016, about 7:30 a.m. Almost region. And here I hope you can see what I can see. That's incredible. It's just incredible. Well, you can see
Trapaholics mixtapes.
People are waking up, they see the world is flat. If we went to the moon, why have we not gone back? I see the garbage that they push in mainstream news. Go and watch some more, gal, maybe then watch Flat Earth Blues.
The truth. False. Presidents are puppets, while the true rulers rule from behind the scenes. The real rulers are those who control our monetary system and the mainstream media. A tiny handful of people, made up mostly of Freemasons, run and control the vast majority of the world's banks and media. As damning and easily provable as is this fact, the Freemason control, there's one other incredible fact, which has also been held from humanity for 500 years now. This fact is even more damning and more easily provable, and is also a direct result of the Freemason control over the minds of the masses worldwide. It is the most ridiculed, censored, and hidden fact in history. If this fact was made known to the world at large, just this one fact has the power to completely transform the world and everyone in it for the better, holistically, in a myriad of ways. Our rulers are well aware of this, and that is exactly why this truth has been held from us so expertly for so long. It is about the truth of who we are, where we come from, the actual position and significance of humans, Earth, the sun, moon, and stars. The fact is, the Earth is flat and motionless.
And that is the revelation that will finally break the Matrix. You have been taught from the earliest ages that you live on a spinning ball, that NASA has sent men to the moon, and you are the result of a Big Bang explosion which created everything out of nothing. Yet nothing could be farther from the truth.
The pictures and videos presented to the public by NASA and other government space agencies are as real as a Hollywood motion picture and as scientific as science fiction. Science facts, on the other hand, prove the flat Earth. There are hundreds of proofs and scientific experiments which have conclusively shown the Earth to be a stationary plane. But you have never and will never hear about these heavily censored experiments in our controlled media. Measurements have been repeatedly taken throughout history until modern times, to test the Earth's supposed curvature. And every time have proven what our eyes and experience tell us to be true. The Earth simply does not curve downwards. This mythical curvature exists only in the fisheye lens footage they constantly film, and the fake CG images of Earth they constantly propagate. The spinning globe and every argument used to defend it is simply pseudoscience masquerading as truth.
Millions of people worldwide are waking up to this incredible rediscovery. I encourage you to please explore this fascinating subject for yourself.
Strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. That's never been seen by a human being. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
We're not meant to save the world. We're meant to leave it.
So we can get on with getting out of here.
Oh, you're not getting out of here. Yes, we are. No, you're not.
Yes, we are!
There is no way out of here!
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want out.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system.
Yeah.
We cannot leave the Earth.
Kid Kane on.
There's no place to go.
It's a new world. It's a new day. The sun tells you the day. It's a new day.
Telling beats.com.
My life, yeah, it's been so phenomenal. Angels and demons got me feeling diabolical. It's rooted in my blood, it's biological. You never understand my psychological history. It's philosophical. Liars, yeah, they're so pathological. Lusting for greed to create the catastrophical. Controlling your minds, it's technological. God made the earth, it's astronomical. You talk too much, you're chronological. Until they destroy your heart and brain molecules and turn your soul and spirit to ash follicles. Alternative dimensions, it's paradoxical. They'll trash your body like the stick of a popsicle. So be more open-minded and ontological. We're born and pronounced dead at all the hospitals. Case closed, you'll get kicked just like a soccer ball. Your government enslaved you, they're unstoppable. They want you to die and struggle, it's fucking horrible. How they can keep you in the loop to your obstacles and turn you to the judge cause he's so honorable. They say escaping the hood could be impossible. You tryna act rich, well your style's adoptable. But if you try to be yourself, you'll be unconquerable. Hang with the weak, they'll stab you back abdominal. And celebrate your death like the day at the carnival. If time's on your side, you'll be invulnerable. The science don't know our minds, it's improbable. We all just wanna be important and so knowledgeable. And this is more than just hip-hop and just rock and roll. We all just wanna be important and so knowledgeable. And this is more than just hip-hop and just rock and roll. Cause we in the streets for real, you better lock and load. Immigrants get deported by the state patrol. Young and full of energy, or work until you're old. So either get your money or get left in the cold. Satan rules the world, he wants to take your soul and serve your full desires and demonic goals, and keep you in burning flames like fire grill coals. To be accepted into heaven, that's the real goal. There's no turning back, the path that you stroll. They got your mind hooked in total control, feeding you fake facts. You just click like and scroll, and what you pay no mind, I guess you never know. You tryna live free as gods or pay the devil's toll. We're segregated, living as slaves and trolls, with hearts colder than Antarctica and the North Pole. But the sun always shined after the night goes, and we can stand up for the spirits that they barely stole. Cause I hope you know that you only reap what you choose to sow. So don't confuse their cautious, instead just help it grow. I hope you know the world is flat, they just teach you a globe. Distill your energy and take it in the glow. We're killing for paper, they're killing for gold. We're miseducated for land, resources, and petrol. But this is the home of the brave, so let me let you know that Satan rules the world. He wants to take your soul and serve your full desires and demonic goals, and keep you in burning flames like fire drill coals. To be accepted into heaven, that's the real goal. There's no turning back, that path that you stroll. They got your mind hooked in total control, feeding you fake facts. You just click like and scroll. So what you pay no mind, I guess you never know.
But I don't have much patience for anyone who denies that this challenge is real.
Shit's flat.
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it.
Resources are penetrable.
So here's the difference. We can describe gravity in the same way it does.
Take your soul.
Measure it, predict it. When you start asking what it is, I don't know.
It may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under the massive light. And the light is shining through my never before, filling us all in the hope and the past.
So you think
Thanks to you.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Escape. It is one of the most powerful themes which resonates throughout the tapestry of human experience. It permeates the spectrum of recorded literature, religious attention, political ideology, and spiritual reflection. From ancient mythology and oral traditions down to present-day pop culture, this broader motif comes back again and again and again. There certainly seems to be something about the human condition which instinctively recognizes an underlying incessant pull to escape, to surpass, to emerge, to exit. Not only in the context of individual people's specific circumstances, whether embedded in real history or just a work of fiction, but in the broadest sense. Somehow, our individual experiences which innately reject confinement, resist restriction, abhor oppression, these seem to connect us all to the larger human story, a larger quest, a deeper need. And of course, the flat earth topic is fascinating in how it serves to bring this particular facet of our human nature into such sharper focus. Is it at least part of the reason why so many people have such a violent and repulsive reaction to the idea of an enclosed world? Does it perhaps have to do with even more than just all the propaganda and programming, all the humanistic pride invested in our perceived scientific understanding, and actually connect to something on a more subconscious and even spiritual level? Is it possible that the fraudulent invention of a massive, virtually infinite deep space cosmology was ultimately easy enough to pass off, because deep down we hate the idea of there being any walls of any kind? hate even the suggestion of limitation. And how does the recognition of the earth and cosmos itself being a much more confined, finite thing relate to all the other forms of restriction, oppression, and control being perpetrated upon humanity by this ever-encroaching system being built all around us? What do these elite really know? What are they hiding? What are they seeking to accomplish? Is it more land, far off somewhere across an icy, infinite plain? Is it the firmament? Do they hope to finally break through to the waters above? Do they intend to use secret technology to create some kind of interdimensional portal, effectively hopping the wall by defying the laws of time and space? What are they doing? What is really going on? And what does it mean for us? Are we trapped? Is there some realistic dream of ascension? Can we too transcend whatever limits exist in the cosmos, and ourselves one day soar into the heavens, whatever that actually means? What is on the other side? These are, of course, the sorts of questions which are inevitably raised when one comes face to face with the prospect of an enclosed world cosmology. The question of the creator, the builder, the designer. The question of what it's all for, and what we're all in here to do. Some people want to merely focus on the flat earth itself, as some kind of unifying principle, some kind of banner under which everyone should be content to find community and common ground. And while I very much appreciate these sentiments to a certain degree, ultimately I find myself reflecting upon the fact that way back in the earliest stage of history, when virtually all cultures and peoples believed in some kind of enclosed world, this commonality did not by itself translate into the absence of all the same ills we tire of today. It did not mean the absence of tyranny, the absence of empire, the absence of oppression, or war, or plunder. It did not prevent mankind from splitting into endless factions based on the struggle for power and resources. It did not bring peace. And interestingly enough, in virtually all of these ancient cultures which shared the broader belief in an enclosed cosmology, there was one singular perspective which set itself out as distinct from the rest. The majority of these ancient kingdoms and cultures held some form of the view that civilization itself was initiated and guided by an array of advanced beings who descended from the heavens above. The Anunnaki, the gods, the Watchers, the Dragon Kings. They were described by many names, but in every case they were revered as the ones who held the keys for mankind to learn the secrets necessary to perfect himself, and one day ascend back to where these magnificent creatures originated from. But in the midst of all these traditions, there was one which stood apart. In the conviction of this small, isolated line of people, the only being worth trusting was the Creator himself, the Eternal One, the God who made everything, even the host of angelic creatures both in the heavens and below. And this God, this Creator who claimed to stand above all the other figures of worship, had a most singularly unique appraisal of the condition of man. Unlike the teachings of all the other so-called gods, this message did not claim that humans could one day climb the ladder of progress to the eventuality of a long-sought quantum leap in consciousness. There was no cyclical wheel of birth, death, and rebirth, no mountain of pious works to hope to accomplish, no secret rituals to learn and unlock the mysteries thereof. You see, among all these centers of civilization and alleged progress was a universal sense of longing, a striving, a recognition of the underlying need to break free, to escape. And these false, finite, fallen gods provided an endless array of ways by which men and women sought to enlist the assistance of these beings in the quest for enlightenment, for ascension. Countless generations in times past devoted themselves to the worship of these idols, in the hope of finding that elusive way out, through magical arts, through arduous pilgrimages, through the building of elaborate temples and monolithic structures, even through the sacrifice of their own children. Yet the longing endured, the key to this prison of humanity never being attained. Mankind could never escape his own self, his own internal nature, and this is what sets the God of Abraham apart from all others. The God of the Bible, in contrast, tells us the rather unwelcome news that no matter what mystical secrets we might try to seek out, no matter what spiritual disciplines we might apply, no matter what towers we build, no matter what machines we might construct, there is simply no way out. No way out, that is, on our own, because ultimately that which imprisons us is not the lack of some secret knowledge, or the activation of our third eye, or our ego, or even the physical universe itself, but rather our own rebellious souls. The reality of the sinful condition of man, as taught in the Bible, is unlike anything else in any other philosophy, theology, or cosmology. It is the prison which we are by far most hesitant to acknowledge, and as such we prefer to instead pound against every other type of wall imaginable in our ceaseless quest to break free from the feeling of bondage. We continue turning to idols, appealing to dreams of progress, of eventually conquering the universe, whether in the context of materialistic space travel or transcending the physical altogether and achieving pure consciousness. But Jesus, as the central figure of the Bible, in both the Old and New Testament, stands alone, as the pivotal piece of the biblical message, which proclaims first a finite, fixed, enclosed, immovable earth, and then us, fallen humanity, finite, enclosed, imprisoned in our sin. Only Jesus provides a way of escape, a way out. There's an irony in the comparison of both enclosed flat earth cosmology and Big Bang Copernican cosmology, in the sense that in both paradigms, one can set out to study and understand everything in the cosmos, from the earth to the sun to the moon and stars, and yet never take the time to intently study the reality of their own heart, never stop and take stock of their own life, their own state, their own innermost being. And this is simply what I challenge everyone to do, above all else. Before seeking to comprehend the amazing reality of the earth or the heavens, to simply get honest with yourself. To ask yourself if perhaps indeed this prison of sin in your own life, as the Bible describes, might actually be some of the most powerful evidence of all that what the Bible says is really true. Because the most beautiful news in the entire world is that Jesus broke down the prison door. He laid down his own life in order to become the door, the gate, the portal, if you will, to everything that humanity has hungered to get back to since the beginning. He is the only way out, the only bridge between heaven and earth, between death and life, the only opening to the impervious firmament separating us from the Creator himself, through which we can freely walk and enter into the kingdom of our Father. Many people out there are under the impression that the Bible is simply another tool of control by the lying, murderous elites, but yet, if you dare to open up the Bible yourself and read what it says, I am convinced that you will quickly begin to see how utterly false this claim really is. Those who seek to control humanity and break through the barriers apart from God are only kidding themselves. In their futility, they insist upon creating their own door to eternity, to godhood, to immortality. But you and I can make that same mistake. I pray that there are at least a small few of you out there who hear this and recognize that there is something resoundingly true about what I am saying. And if so, that you would seek the one who holds the key, that you would seek Jesus. Ask him. Cry out to him. He will hear you. He always does. He's right there waiting. Thank you.
heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.
Just our common sense, everyday perception of the Earth, it is flat as far as we can tell. It is motionless as far as we can tell. And everything in the sky is revolving around us as far as we can tell. If nobody told us otherwise, we'd logically assume that the Earth was flat, motionless, with everything in the sky revolving around us. Now you can prove that this is the case as well, for instance, with the horizon. As you rise up, no matter how high you go on the top of Mount Everest, or if you go in a balloon higher and higher, we've gotten independent balloons have gone up with cameras, the horizon remains flat all the way around and rises to the eye of the camera all the way up, totally flat, and rises to the eye of the observer. So that's one proof. Now, if the Earth were a ball, no matter how big, the horizon is said to be the curvature of the ball.
If you were to go to NASA, it's all fraud, it's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent. There are no images of Earth from space. Put an end to this topic once and for all, turn the Hubble round and show us Earth in real time, but they will not do it. They can't do it. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. Looking at these images of Earth, including the one they called the Big Blue Marble, which was released in 2002, I think. Zoom into it with Photoshop, you'll see where they've used the clone tool in Photoshop to take a picture of one of the clouds and stamp it in various places around the picture. They got lazy.
If the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, there must exist a curvature drop of 8 inches times the mile when you square the mile. 1 mile means there should be an 8-inch curvature drop. 2 miles, 2 times 2 times 8 is 32. That's 32-inch drop. 3 miles would be a 72-inch drop. And this would exponentially continue. Here's the longest bridge in the world. The Danyang Kongchong Grand Bridge in China. 102.4 miles long. There should exist nearly 7,000 feet of curvature drop in that bridge. 7,000 foot curvature drop. Do you see it? It ain't there. Look at the horizon. It's flat.
You can see in that dive shot that the inside camera, the horizon is completely flat. Then it goes to the outside, and you got a huge curve. But when you're looking at some of the amateur balloon footage, some of it's lens corrected and it's completely flat. And others, like the GoPro stuff, the horizon will fluctuate as the camera spins and tilts. The horizon will go convex and concave. A lens effect. It's obviously not the horizon shifting every 2 seconds as the camera jumps. And when it's still, you can see all the way up, totally flat. NASA is essentially Hollywood, and all the images that you think you've seen of a spinning ball Earth are faked. And all the amateur balloon and rocket footage that we've sent up there shows a flat horizon that rises all the way up. And that's impossible on a ball.
Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
The person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Imagine what we know.
The horizon, for instance, is always completely flat, and you don't feel any motion. So if you were just born today and looked out, you wouldn't assume that you're standing on a spinning ball. You'd assume that you were on a flat, motionless plane. So to assume that we are on a spinning ball is actually contrary to our common sense and our everyday experience. And there's also experiments that have been done to test whether we're on a spinning ball or not.
My question was, why, if it's a flat Earth, why couldn't you stand on the coast of California with a telescope and see Japan or Hawaii or something? And I think you know the answer to that. I'll let you answer that.
Yeah. You can't see an unlimited distance. The lowest layer is the densest and not transparent. So if you imagine like a hot, humid day, the haze over a road, all telescopes will eventually blur out in that same kind of way due to the air. So no, you can't see an infinite distance.
Is the Earth flat or round? It's round. Okay, now let's see. How do we go about proving that? Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore. Watch as ships sail away. They don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear. See, the bottom of the ship is gone. Now we can see midway up, and then the whole thing disappears. Now, ships came back. They didn't fall off the table. So people realized that the world is curved. I mean, it's a big curve, but it's curved. So, the process of testing planes, the world is flat, the world is round, is what we call science. Now, if you have a claim that can't be tested, that's what we call pseudoscience. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Boats don't disappear over the curvature of the horizon. Boats disappear due to perspective. All you have to do is go to the beach, watch a boat disappear from your eye, and then whip out your telescope, your binoculars, or your high-powered zoom on your camera, and you can pull the entire boat right back into view. Whole mass and all. Yeah, that's right. You think the boat disappeared? Just whip out your telescope, your binoculars, or your zoom camera. You bring the entire boat back into view, completely debunking everything Coy just told you. And here's my video proof.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Imagine that. You can debunk the curvature of the Earth yourself with just a simple zoom on your camera. Bye-bye, little boat.
The flat Earth? Well, that didn't stand up to test. The round Earth did. And you guys, come on. Everybody watches newscasts. You all use mobile phones. You all see airplanes fly around. You all go to see Ed Sheeran in concert one day in London, another day in Melbourne, Australia. This all depends on our fundamental understanding of the size of the Earth and its shape with extraordinary precision.
What the fuck did you just say?
The way we teach science is you're just some empty vessel and we pour the science into you and then you regurgitate it on an exam. Because Earth, we know it spins once a day, yes.
Off to a great start.
So you spin, you know, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. Gets wider in the middle, and so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the pole. Not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So, it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level. Well, let me just so you understand. We've been fed a lie our entire, I want to call it a lie. We've been fed.
It's a point of view thing, I think.
We've been fed Earth has been misrepresented to us by
science.
Pear-shaped.
Science.
So they're all trying to figure out, is the universe spinning around us, or are we spinning around the universe? They tell you, we don't know shit. We're looking at a bunch of lights in the goddamn sky. You're gonna tell me that light and that light that's 250, 100 trillion light years away? How the fuck did you figure that out?
How you learn? Well, don't they have an explanation for that shit?
No, exactly. That's what what you just said right now. What you just said now is what everyone's natural reaction. Because anytime someone says anything about space, you automatically think, someone figured it out. You don't know the guy's name. You don't know the name of the experiment. You didn't look into it yourself. You just think when someone tells you, how far is the Earth from the sun? They'll say, 93 million miles away. Like you just, everybody relies on someone figured that out and someone double checked it. You're going on what you read. And right now, cosmology, they don't know what to do. You know what they found out? The cosmic microwave background shows that all the galaxies are on shells lined up to us. That we're at the center. They don't know what to think about it. There's a lot of controversy going on about it.
Well, you should see the stars do all sorts of strange motions, but you don't. You only see them make these perfect circles. That tells me that it's the stars that are moving, not the Earth.
The Copernicus principle, the one that we live by, is that we're insignificant, we mean nothing, we're a speck in the universe. That's the heliocentric model, that we go around the sun. The geocentric model means that everything goes around us. That's what this is in the Bible, that's what the first astronomers were saying. Ptolemy was the first one to say, yeah, we are the center. You can tell based on these observations, everything's revolving around us.
Earth is the center of the universe, and we stand still, and the universe spins around us.
You know what? They've lied so much. NASA's lied so goddamn much that I don't believe shit
I see it. They've got that satellite image of that frozen moon. What's that frozen moon?
Oh, let me see if that's CGI. Find that They got a picture of a frozen moon. I guarantee you it's CGI. No way they can take a picture.
Heliocentric models in trouble. Watch as the sunlight shrinks and follows the sun. It's definitely a locally illuminating sun, not far away, not very big, and definitely not 93 million miles away.
There's a place in Bolivia called Salar de Uyuni, which is a salt flat. It's literally 100 miles wide one way and 80 miles across, and it's perfectly flat. And when it rains, literally you get an inch of water, and it looks like a perfect mirror. Now, how does that happen on a sphere? Yeah, it shows you that, you know, if you're one end of this salt flat, you can see perfectly clearly the other end 100 miles away. So it's just showing you that, you know, the Earth is flat, and without the effect of the waves in the sea, you'll be able to see a whole lot further. Took a picture across the Great Lakes from Michigan, and it was able to see, I believe it's Chicago, which he shouldn't have been able to see. And the television station basically said it was a mirage.
I found this photo
Grandmere State Park. This is from Joshua Nowicki. And what you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline. Very interesting here. Here's what's happening. This is a good example of a superior mirage. So Joshua was on the Lake Michigan shore. He was looking towards the west, and Chicago's beyond the horizon. Should not be able to see it. However, with the right conditions, we have an inversion. We have cold air near the cold lake water and some relatively warmer air above it. This will bend the image of that skyline back towards the viewer. And so typically we would not be able to see this. This image would be viewable from much, much higher in the sky.
They always say it's a mirage, but for a mirage to happen, you have to have very specific atmospheric conditions. It's not a mirage, it's simply that you're looking across the plain.
Now, how come in all these ball pictures, man, you can see all the continents pretty much, and there's just a little bit of clouds here and there. Man, it's like some of these pictures, like there's some where they show the Earth at night and you can see all the lights and stuff. It's like, you're telling me the entire continent didn't have clouds? The entire fucking continent, like, you can see Africa and all these lights and all this stuff, like, you know, if you turn on your porch light, I guess you can see it from space, apparently. And it's like there's no clouds in some of these pictures.
And they spelled out the word sex, right, recently, probably a few months ago in one of the clouds.
But, you know, if they do their research, they say, well, those are composites. And I said, well, how come they copy and paste the clouds on some of these? And they use the same cloud form. Like, if you're going to make a composite, but you shouldn't be copying and pasting clouds. That means you're adding stuff that's not real.
Yeah, and the thing is, those pictures that you're talking about, the blue marble pictures, you know, I think it's about maybe 8 to 10 of them over time that NASA has put out. And you're absolutely right. None of those pictures look the same. The color of the water is different. Like you said, the continents are different sizes. It's just unbelievable. And I think what happened originally was they would put these things out and nobody was paying any attention to it. You know, and then all of a sudden now people are paying attention to it, and now they're pulling these pictures in, and it's an obvious fraud.
What?
And the thing is, there's supposedly tens of thousands of satellites orbiting Earth. We can't get any close-ups of Earth. We can't get a view of Australia with the buildings upside down.
And they'll look at you like you're crazy. But really, you are the sane one for asking real questions. They're the fucking idiots for just repeating school book. That's how it works. I was taught school book in public school, and somehow I was able to break free and free my mind. You know how I did it? I watched NASA rockets explode a bunch of times. Fly off sideways and not notice fate.
If you watch the trajectory of the space shuttle, it doesn't go straight up. It always goes in a curve and out to sea. The point is, they actually go horizontal. The space shuttle goes horizontal. It never goes any further up. It goes horizontal, very, very low down in the atmosphere. You know, it's still in the atmosphere while it's horizontal, so it never gets any higher. And it goes out of sight, not because it goes too high, because it goes too far downrange. And they have a plane that's mocked up to look like a space shuttle. It's a jet-powered aircraft. That's it. It's not a glider. It's an aircraft. And that's what they're fooling us. They're taking billions of dollars in and giving us images and fake claims for that 10 billion, and however many billions of dollars it is. What goes up must come down, and literally we have not ever seen anything that has ever gone up and not come down.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Rockets don't have brakes. It literally stopped. All of that angular momentum from the rotation of the rocket and the linear momentum from flying up just stopped. No, it had to hit something. What would it hit? If it hit a solid surface, the rocket would have been destroyed. And most likely the camera too, so we wouldn't have the footage. And obviously that's not the case.
It's a long flight, all going back. And the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the sea. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
There's no place to go.
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
People figured out that we were an enclosed system. The more advanced we got, it would be the biggest thought on our minds. That's all we care about. You could make a wildlife preserve 1,000 miles square. All people, all human beings would do is just be knocking on the fence constantly, going, why is this fence here? Who built the fence? Why are we in here? And so on and so on.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
Earth, yep, Earth, yep.
Earth! If you start here, and you go around long enough in the same direction, you wind up in the place you started from. Yes, Thomas.
Why don't we fall off when we walk underneath, Miss Sarah?
Because of a force called gravity.
What does gravity look like?
Gravity is something we can't see, but we know it's a great invisible force that keeps us all here on Earth. It's a natural force that keeps us all from flying off into space.
We were always told that the world is flat.
You were told right. Don't listen to her. I've been patient with you, Sarah. Lord knows I've been patient, but now your words have revealed you.
The law law of gravity was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton in 1687. That's almost 200 years ago, Uncle Evan.
But there was only one law. The law of God.
What is gravity?
You have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know. Einstein, in an Einsteinian answer, we would say gravity is the curvature of space and time. And objects will follow the curvature of space-time, and we interpret that as a force of gravity. That's probably the best answer I can give to a what is gravity question, or why is there gravity. That's the best I can do there. I think that's a good start.
The world is round.
What?
You know how everybody believes the world is flat, like a pancake? Well, they're all wrong. The world is actually round, like an orange.
The world is an orange. And?
And? Well, that's it. It's a great idea. It's one of my best ones.
Yeah, but what kind of orange? Is it a navel or a juicer? What?
Look, just leave In the morning, the idea will come to you again. You won't even remember where you got it. Get it?
Got it.
Good. I must say, I really thought you'd catch on to this a little quicker, Copernicus.
What? My name's not Copernicus. I'm Charlene Sinclair.
You're not Copernicus? This isn't 16th century Poland? Oh boy, I screwed up.
How do you brainwash? You repeat the same thing over and over again. You know if somebody's resisting the concept? If you keep fucking repeating it, they'll incorporate it in their brain. Since you were a kid, you've seen this but you've never seen it from that point of view. But your brain has three-dimensionalized. Oh yeah, that's the Earth. How? Through repetition.
Well, let's just all get on our hands and knees and wait for a scientist or an astronaut to come along, or Neil deGrasse Tyson to come along and bestow upon us their knowledge.
Now, as you can see, this is the evolution meter, and I put God, the creator of everything, on the right side, and evolution on the left. I won't change my mind, because I don't have to, because I'm an American. I'm dug in, and I'll never change. Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution. And why is that? Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real. I'm glad you brought that up. Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists. Only problem is, they kept being wrong! Oh, this is insane, you fool! I'm a fool because I have more faith in the saints that wrote the Bible? Yeah. Because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true. And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints? Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures. Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures? Well, no. No. Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met. And you take their words as truth based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith? Come on. Look, I mean, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, come on. I rest my case.
Matter tells space how to curve. Space tells... Did I get that right?
The science community is ignoring a lot of the things that we're looking at, and so normal people are going out and doing experiments. And one of the experiments has turned up an amazing fact that we've not been told, and it destroys the whole idea of this heliocentric system, and that is the moon. Now you can actually measure the temperature of the moonlight next to the temperature of the shade of the moonlight, and you'll find the moonlight is colder than the shade, the opposite from the sun. So the moon is throwing out its own light, and that light is the opposite from the sun. Now, that tells you that it's not reflecting the sun's light. It's producing its own, and its light is different from the sun's. So, you know, the scientific community have not told us this. Yeah, because they won't tell us this because it destroys this idea that the sun is, you know, is lighting up the moon.
Everyone knows, like, if you're in sunlight, it's colder in the shade, right? So if it's 100 degrees in the sun, it's 90 degrees in shade. You go to the moonlight, like, especially in a full moon, especially if it's high in the sky, the moon is its own independent object. It is not reflecting the sun rays. The sun is its own object. Also, you know, about the same size, which is, you know, again, coincidentally, you know, why the moon fits so perfectly in front of the sun during an eclipse. We always thought it was a coincidence that even though it was 400 times farther away, that it was also exactly 400 times less diameter, which is why it fits. And the other weird thing about the moon, which everyone thinks, oh, it's just a coincidence, is that we never see the other side of it. It's constantly perfectly rotating, so we only see one side of the moon. Exactly one side. It's not like we have like a quarter of a degree every 5 years or half a degree here and there. It's always the same side. There are no coincidences when it comes to this system. It was deliberately built, but I think it was deliberately built to be detected. And I think we were naturally supposed to figure this thing out maybe as late as the 1970s, but the government figured it out first, and they have been spending a heck of a lot of money trying to keep it a secret.
When I look at the people who signed the Antarctic Treaty, and all the nations that were down there doing whatever they were doing signed a treaty, and I believe it was 1958 or somewhere thereabouts, saying, nope, nobody can stake a claim to Antarctica, and if you're going to go down there, you can only go down there for scientific reasons under carefully restricted guidance, but it's not a free-for-all. Nobody can just, you know, hey, I'm going to go check out Antarctica and do a high jump of my own. No, can't do it.
It's the only treaty that you know, all these countries have signed and never broken and completely agreed on. It's the only one. You know, what treaty is there that everybody's agreed on? We're being kept away from it for a reason. You know, they have some scientific bases there, yeah, and literally it's controlled by the military because they don't want you finding out what's beyond.
During 3 voyages lasting 3 years and 8 days, Captain Cook and crew sailed a total of 60,000 miles along the Antarctic coastline, never once finding an inlet or path through or beyond the massive glacial wall. So the other question is, well, how come ships don't go off the sea if it's flat? How come ships don't fall off the edge? Well, here's why you don't fall off the edge. There's a 200 to 300 foot high wall that is the border that Scripture says is keeping everything in. Nothing's going past that.
Because they don't want you finding out what's beyond.
Personally, I think the unconquered south face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice. But that's never stopped me before. Risk? Of course I'm aware of the risks. Thank you for your concern.
Here's the picture of the Earth from space. There it is. Since you were a kid, you've seen this image. But you've never seen it from that point of view. You've never seen that with your eyes from that scale of a model, that point of view, from outside of the planet's surface. Well, here's the first image that sold the whole thing. 1482. This is when they came up with this idea. We are on that thing. It's a ball. Hey, we should go to the North and the South Pole. We didn't do it yet. It's a fucking ball. Hey, nobody's even like jumped up high enough to see if it is a ball. We can't do that. We don't have planes yet. It's a ball. You know what? We adopted this whole model like 400 or 500 years before the airplane. 400 years before the airplane, pretty much. So it was like beginning of the 1900s. They went to the North Pole in the 1900s. This is 1482. Nobody went to the top of the globe, to the bottom, or flew up or built a skyscraper. It's funny, but we said that this is what we're in right now. This is what we're on before any instrument approved. This is the first time we actually had like an instrument of flight actually go high enough, actually check out if what we agreed to 500 years ago was real. So if they were wrong after 500 years, the question is, would they tell you? Newtonian physics, why objects move on a ball spinning 1,000 miles an hour while it's going 26,000 miles around the sun. Basically the model we're accepting right now.
The sailor thinks that he's traveling around the Earth this way, when in effect he's traveling around the Earth this way.
They began flying it around the world, from Abu Dhabi last year, with stops in India and China, then across the vast Pacific.
Does running around your neighborhood prove that the neighborhood is round?
I was an airline pilot for Delta for 26 years. A pilot's primary flight instrument is his artificial horizon, which he has to be maintained level to keep from climbing and descending. From a cockpit, weather permitting, I could see hundreds of miles in all directions, viewing cities connected by roads across the flat plain as far as the eye could see. Nothing ever leaned.
If a pilot is flying around the curve of the Earth, then he should be dipping the nose down, and every 5 minutes he should be dipping the nose down to stay around the curve. That's absolute proof that a plane flies over a flat surface rather than a curved one. But I went to the manufacturer of the artificial horizon, and they confirmed to me that it's completely mechanical, nothing electronic in it whatsoever. So it's literally just a gyroscope that can freely move. That right there is proof to me that planes fly over a plane.
Flat Earthers, it's time. We are going to destroy the Blowheads' arguments concerning flight routes.
When you go onto the plane tracking software, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of flights over the northern hemisphere, and you can track those flights from beginning to end. When you look at any flight in the southern hemisphere, what you find is the flight takes off and disappears off the tracking.
And that only leaves why. Why have they done this? What's the point of this grand deception? I think Eric Dubay explains it best.
People are always asking, why do they do this? Other than the obvious profit margin motive, NASA being the biggest black budget black hole in existence, sucking in over $30 billion taxpayer money for the fake moon landings alone. Nowadays, hundreds of billions of dollars, and not just NASA, but RASA and all the other fake space organizations around the world, giving CGI images for hundreds of billions of dollars.
You want to put something in context. If you want to do something with $3.5 trillion, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you judge to be important to the profile of the nation that you are trying to just build and to sustain.
So by surreptitiously indoctrinating us into their scientific materialist sun worship, not only do we lose faith in anything beyond the material, we gain absolute faith in materiality, superficiality, status, selfishness, hedonism, and consumerism. If there's no God and everyone's just an accident, then all that really matters is me, me, me. So they've turned Madonna, the mother of God, into the material girl living in a material world.
It's all about making us feel nothing, so that we can be used. If everybody realised how special we all are, how unique every single life is, then this whole world would change overnight. We wouldn't allow ourselves to be used by this cabal.
I start from the supposition that the world is topsy-turvy, that things are all wrong, that the wrong people are in jail and the wrong people are out of jail, that the wrong people are in power, that the wealth is distributed in this country and the world in such a way as not simply to require small reform, but to require a drastic reallocation of wealth. All we have to do is think about the state of the world today and realize that things are all upside down. Now, if you don't think, if you just listen to TV and read scholarly things, you actually begin to think that things are not so bad, or that just little things are wrong. But you have to get a little detached and then come back and look at the world, and you are horrified. Now, as soon as you say the topic is civil disobedience, you're saying our problem is civil disobedience. That is not our problem. Our problem is civil obedience.
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know, and I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line, but I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, you know. If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane, you know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. You know, that's what's insane about it.
In this episode, I will be presenting just some documented examples of the many places visible on Earth across distances which should in fact be impossible considering the curvature of the ball Earth model, 25,000 miles in circumference. I must give credit to Eric Dubay for his work in this matter, as all these examples are taken from his book, 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball. If you haven't already come across his work, I urge you to look into it. So without any further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get started. The Dunkirk Light in southern France at 194 feet is visible from a boat approximately 10 feet above sea level from 28 miles away. At this distance on the ball Earth, the light should be hidden behind 190 feet of curvature. The light at Cape Bonavista, Newfoundland is 150 feet above sea level and visible from 35 miles, which should be below 490 feet of curvature. The lighthouse steeple of St. Botolph's Parish Church in Boston is 290 feet tall and visible from over 40 miles, where it should be hidden below a full 800 feet of curvature. The Isle of Wight Lighthouse in England is 180 feet high and can be seen up to 42 miles away, where it should be below 996 feet of curvature. The Cape Lagulias Lighthouse in South Africa is 33 feet high, 238 feet above sea level, and can be seen for over 50 miles, where it should be below 1,400 feet of curvature. The Statue of Liberty in New York stands 326 feet above sea level, and on a clear day can be seen as far as from 60 miles away. At that distance on the ball Earth, Lady Liberty would be an impossible 2,074 feet below the curvature. The lighthouse at Port Said in Egypt, at an elevation of only 60 feet, has been seen an astonishing 58 miles away, where it should be below 2,182 feet of curvature. Some other examples include the base of the Isle of Wight, where water and land meet, forming a perfectly straight line 22 statute miles long. On the ball Earth, the Isle of Wight should decline 80 feet from the center on each side to conform to the curvature. However, the crosshairs of good theodolites have repeatedly shown the waterline to be perfectly level. And on a clear day from the highland near Douglas Harbour on the Isle of Man, the whole length of the coast of North Wales is often plainly visible to the naked eye. The 50-mile stretch has also repeatedly been found to be horizontal. On the ball Earth, however, the 50-mile Welsh coast would decline from the center a stark 416 feet on either side. In regards to distances over land, the Philadelphia skyline is clearly visible from Apple Pie Hill in New Jersey 40 miles away. Factoring in the 205-foot elevation of Apple Pie Hill, the Philadelphia skyline should be well hidden behind 335 feet of curvature. The New York City skyline is clearly visible from Bear Mountain 60 miles away. Despite factoring in the 1,283-foot summit of Bear Mountain, the New York City skyline should still remain invisible behind 170 feet of curvature. The Chicago skyline can often be seen from sea level 60 miles away from across Lake Michigan. When Joshua Nowitzki photographed this phenomenon, several news channels quickly claimed his picture was of a superior mirage. Although these do occur, the mirage will always appear upside down and somewhat hazy. Despite the photograph showing otherwise, their model insists that the Chicago skyline hides behind 2,400 feet of curvature. From Anchorage, Alaska, on a clear day, at an elevation of 102 feet, Mount Foraker can be seen by the naked eye. At 120 miles away, the summit should be leaning away from the observer and hidden by 7,719 feet of ball Earth, when in reality the entire mountain, from base to summit, can be seen standing upright. Another example from Anchorage, Alaska, is Mount McKinley. At 130 miles away on the ball Earth, the 20,320-foot summit should be leaning away from the observer and almost half covered by 9,220 feet of curved Earth. But just like Mount Foraker, Mount McKinley is always seen standing straight up and visible from base to summit. From Genoa, Italy, at a height of just 70 feet above sea level, the island of Gorgona can often be seen at 81 miles away. On the ball Earth, however, Gorgona should be hidden behind 3,332 feet of curvature. Also from Genoa, the island of Corsica can often be seen at 99 miles away. On the ball Earth, Corsica should be hidden behind 5,245 feet, almost a mile of curvature. A third instance from Genoa is the island of Capraia. At 102 miles away, on the ball Earth, Capraia should be hidden behind 5,605 feet. That's over a mile of curvature. And lastly, if you stuck around this long, a fourth and final example from Genoa is the island of Elba, seen from an incredible 125 miles away. At that distance, on the ball Earth, Elba should be forever invisible behind 8,770 feet of water, which is well over a mile of supposed curvature. So investigate the subject for yourself and ask questions.
landed this into space? Well, the space tourism company Worldview seem to think so. They've completed a test flight for a passenger balloon. The test was successful, which puts this on track for a 2017 launch, making us all one small step closer to the edge of space. As long as you have a spare £50,000, then don't mind.
The company is now ready to begin full-scale testing in mid-July 2017 and hopes to bring space tourism to the masses at the end of the same year.
One small step closer to the edge of space. As long as you have a spare £50,000, then don't
From an airplane. I've seen it's round.
Oh, you got it from an airplane.
But are you saying everybody else is wrong and you people are the only ones who are right?
Absolutely. But don't get excited. The average person over 40 or 50 years old knows that the Earth is flat.
But Charles, if the Earth was flat, you'd go driving along, or you'd be in a boat going, and you'd reach the end, and you'd fall off the Earth. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. This is the final segment of our show. All right. Now our final guest. I can't believe this, but he's the head of the Flat Earth Society. He says the Earth is definitely flat. Here is my guest, Charles Johnson. Let's hear it for Charles. Now, Charles, you can't truly be serious and believe that this Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat is one of the few things that you can ever know for sure in life. It is the only sure thing. You know, they talk about death and taxes being sure, but the Earth being flat is much more sure than that.
But Charles,
I mean, you didn't give the rest of our name. It's the Flat Earth Research Society. We have research. We have learned.
But Charles, we have seen pictures of the round globe.
Are you serious, Wally? I mean, in other words, your proof is. In other words, your proof is I saw it on TV.
No, I've seen it from an airplane. From an airplane. It's round.
Oh, you got it from an airplane.
But are you saying everybody else is wrong and you people are the only ones who are right?
Absolutely. But don't get excited. The average person over 40 or 50 years old knows that the Earth is flat.
But Charles, if the Earth was flat, you'd go driving along, or you'd be in a boat going, and you'd reach the end, and you'd fall off the Earth.
You've got backwards. If the world were a globe, a ball, and if you tried to get to Australia, you'd go over the edge. Any direction you went, you'd go over the edge. Endless. The world
water is laying flat.
Right, all water lays flat. I mean, that's the nature of water, to lay flat.
Charles,
how does water lay?
Charles, I think the only thing flat here is your head.
Have you ever seen any of that water?
Charles, are you disputing? Charles, are you disputing our astronauts who have seen our beautiful round globe from outer space?
Carnies. Not a word of truth. No one's been to the moon.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say nobody has been to the moon?
No one has been to the moon.
Wait. Hold on. Are you saying that our trip to the moon was all phony?
Phony. Totally. Completely. And the reason, completely. And the reason, and all these years that this insane hoax has been taught, it comes from Greece 2,500 years ago. It's called the grease ball religion, claiming the world is a ball. No proof had ever been found for this insane belief.
What proof do you have that the Earth is flat?
Let me get to who started the space program. Nick Khrushchev in Russia. The atheist communist, since they could find no proof, and he wanted to do away. The Bible is a flat earth book. Jesus, the only part of the Bible that's claimed written by God himself is the Ten Commandments. And within those commandments you'll find in Exodus 24, it states the earth is flat. It states you shall not make a graven image and from heaven above or earth beneath or the water underneath the earth. In other from heaven above or earth beneath or the water underneath the earth. In other words, that says the world is flat. See, the whole point of all hoax is to do away with Christianity, to do away with sanity.
But Charles, our time is gone. All I can say is, Charles, you got a little studying to do. The Earth is round. I'll be right back. Good night,
1. And we have liftoff of Antares, the Orbital 3 mission, delivering Cygnus on its third CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
And launch team, be advised, stay at your consoles. Everyone in the LCC, maintain your positions in your consoles. In the LCC, maintain positions at your console.
sun's rays shining through the clouds at diverging angles. But after tracing these rays back to their source, it becomes apparent that the sun is not millions of miles away. Otherwise, all the rays would appear parallel. Rather, the sun is shown to be relatively close to the Earth, just above the clouds. Further demonstrating that the distance traveled by sunlight is not in the millions of miles is the fact that if the heat of the sun were indeed traversing the 93 million miles as claimed by modern science, then the stark difference in the sun's ability to heat the tropics versus the polar regions of this alleged relative speck shouldn't even exist, as the distance to the polar regions from the equator is just a mere 0.00004% further, or just 1/25,000th of the distance. Of course, Copernicus, Kepler, and Newton all came to various conclusions regarding the distance to the sun, not even coming near the 93 million miles as claimed by modern science. The real truth is that the number has astronomically increased, pun intended, as more and more precise instruments have failed to measure any stellar parallax. But that's a matter for a whole other episode. So investigate the subject for yourself.